How'd you get on WWE's radar?
Um, it was while I was living in the UK, um, and I ended up going to college there. So my mom was like, "You're never gonna make money wrestling." So I was like, "All right, I'll go get my degree, but I'm pursuing this wrestling thing, just so you know." Because I mean, I decided that when I was 8 years old. So I think they saw me there because like at the time FWA was one of the biggest promotions and it was like the ROH of Europe basically. And they
Okay.
did a lot of exchange stuff with the ROH guys at the time. Remember when ROH was booming like 2004, 5, 6, it was pumping. I think they saw me. It was like a trading seminar with Loki or somebody. Um and then I sent them a bunch of my stuff a year or two later. Excuse me. And I forgot exactly how it was, but um, when they invited me for a tryout at FCW, it was it was the developmental back then, just when they shifted from Deep South and they moved to Florida. It was at that time, so there wasn't a lot of stuff in the building, and yeah, I flew to the US just for the tryout. And when I got there, it was Dusty Rhodes, Steve Kern, Dr. Tom Pritchard, and Norman Smiley, and there was somebody else. And they pulled me into this office and they're like, "Oh, yeah, we know who this kid is. You're the guy from the jungle." Because I guess the 8x10 I sent, it was me
Mhm.
standing in front of a tree. So I guess every time I send it to the office, I send it to Stanford, they send it down there. And they was like, have a look at this kid. So everybody already kind of knew who I was when I got there. And then it turns out a lot of those guys worked with my dad back in the day. So
Oh, I tell you, so when I was 18 years old, I did my first WWF TV match. Doing job matches. I was a month graduated from high school in front of 15,000 people in the ring with Steve Kerr and Skinner,
wow.
and he could not have spoon-fed me and just taught me like patience because I was greener than grass. Like just what a guy to have your first real match with Steve Kern.
Oh wow,
But
yeah. I learned so much from him in FCW. Unreal. Like him and Dusty and Dr. Tom and even like till today, stuff that I use that I learned from Norman Smiley. Like, wow, those guys are FCW really was a different thing. I know it kind of went corporate and once they switched into NXT and stuff, but I mean if you go look back at the old FCW website, you'll see all the names on there. All like Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, the Usos, like all those names come from that.
right, right. Who else tried out with you that I would know?
Um, at the time, there was no one physically with me, like, because we had like, different days at the school, right? So it was just me. I had my tryout match against Ted DiBiase Jr. We had a nice, easy little match, like you get two goes. It's like a choreographed match, like like we normal plan some stuff, or like just a call it on the fly match. Those seem to always go better for me because they're from the old school. And then I had to do a couple of promos, and I remember doing a promo. It was just all the camera guys there and Dusty. He was the promo coach at the time. And after the first one, he gave me some tips. He's like, "Okay, maybe do this and do this." Because at the time, my promos were like probably the strongest thing. That's what got me signed at the time, And then years as it progressed, that I wasn't known for that because I didn't get a lot of mic time. And the few times that I did,
Right.
kind of it was just quick one sentence or not a lot of personality stuff. Anyway, so Dusty gave me some tweaks. I did it at another take. I think we did about 40 takes. And then he stands up, he goes, "Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take that first one." And then yeah, they
That's
sent me to
awesome.
the office, and yeah, I went back to South Africa. A couple of months later, they offered me the deal, and it still took them like 8 or 9 months to get my papers to work in the US. So I was just sitting at home. I was a personal trainer at the time, so I was working at the gym, just working out as hard as I can, going to the ring every single day, just studying tape. Dr. Tom used to say this: "What's old is new, and what's new is old." So I studied a lot of the old stuff, because there's always stuff that you can use and tweak a little bit and steal or whatever word you want to use there.
I
And
love Dr. Tom.
yeah, amazing
Great
guy.
guy, great talent. I got to work with him doing. I worked with the Heavenly Bodies back in the day. Him and Jimmy Del Rey. What a
Yes, yes.
great worker Tom was.
Oh, amazing.
Tell me something that Dusty put in your head that you've carried with you throughout your career. Is there any advice when you say this is what the dream taught me?
uh, so many little things, like so many. Let me pinpoint one thing. Like he used to say, like, throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. You know, try something different every time. That's actually how the Adam Rose character came along, because you know he was Leo Kruger and he played many other characters before that. That's like Wednesdays were our promo classes, and then sometimes we do you do a promo in your character or whatever, and then you would try something completely different. That's how Skip Sheffield came about too. That's how a lot of these characters actually came. Like Dusty was like, just throw something at the wall and see what happens. You know, at the time I was just an angel, and he wanted me to be I think who won Idol that year, American Idol, was Steve Lambert, and I had you know the star earrings and the black haircut. That's what you saw me as Justin Gabriel on TV. That's what I looked like. That was Dusty. All that the look, everything, the attitude, that was all him. But yeah, so many little things he told me. It's hard to pick point just one. I mean, I can say the same. I can tell you something that just Dr. Tom t told me. It was something random, something nothing to do with the business at all. I had my first ever meeting with Vince, and he told me something. He was like, I forgot what it was. I was like something stupid, like, "Hey, shine your shoes." And I was like, "That's weird advice, but whatever." And I did it. And then I got to Vince's office, and like when he shook my hand, he looked down and he kind of like looked at my shoes and he smiled, and I was like, "Huh." Doc.
That's great. That's awesome. Did you meet Vince while you were? Well, let's back up. So, what was an average week in developmental like? So, what was it? What'd you do in Florida?
Oh, it was every day, right? At school, go to the school every day. Wednesdays was promo day, so we didn't have to bump. Certain days were like, running drills, learning new things, different rings, learning psychology, learning camera angles, learning the WWE style. Every day was a little bit different. The drills were always the same, the warm-ups were the same. But Wednesdays were promos, and then on weekends we had shows. And then we got this guy that promoted our shows, and then all of a sudden we went from one show a weekend to like two, three a week. So that was fun. And then the roster got really big there too, over 100 people. So you had to
Oh,
fight to get onto the roster. Like you pay your
right.
dues, you set up the ring, you do the ring announcing, you do all that stuff until you get to the show. Um, I'm fast forwarding a little bit now, but my first day when I got to FCW, it was me and Loki, right? So how ironic is that we start work at the same day, the same company. So obviously, like none of those coaches that we mentioned, like they don't know who we are, right? They don't watch wrestling. So first thing they do is like the new guy, hey, new guy, get in the ring, let's see what you can do, right? And that's how they kind of gauge where to put you on the, like, like whatever. So it was me and Loki, and I've been a fan of Keith for years. I know his style. He didn't know anything about me. So we just went in there and we had this insane, like strong style match. And like, Loki just being Loki. Every time he tried something, I counted it, and that would make guys mad usually, but he just got like so excited. He's like, oh wow. And then he just started hitting me harder. And I started safely, obviously, like just strong style stuff.
Right.
And I remember like at that time, you had to, like I said, you had to work your way to get onto the show. You first do like the ring announcing, blah 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 blah. And Dusty walks into the room and he watches this and he yells. Kern was the main booker at the time, and he yells to Kern. He goes, "Hey, whoever's main event this week, bump them. Put these two kids on." So
Nice.
it was like right out of the gate that I just got recognized, I guess, for lack of a better term. And then 2 months in, I became champ, and that's when they flew me to the office for a photo shoot. So I got to meet Vince and work out with him, and like do the photo shoot, and then fly right back to Florida.
Tell me about your meeting with Vince.
It was cool. Like I said, like he shook my hand, he looked at my, it was like it was cool. It was easy, just like a formal introduction. Like, hey, da da da. Like he was asking a lot of questions too. I'm not gonna repeat any of that stuff. It's kind of like feeling out the personalities too. Um, a lot of them I only realized much later. I was like, oh, this is what he was trying to do, and I kind of like
Right.
stumbled on that one. I remember just working out at the gym at Titan Towers, and the AC/DC music plays, and I was like, oh yeah, I heard someone say this before. If the music plays, that's when he's making his way to the gym. And I heard the song, and I was like, there's no way. And then in walks Vince.
What do you have? Entrance music?
Every time he goes into the gym, yeah, he plays the Thunderstruck.
Okay. Nice.
I guess that's his like motivational song, where he's like, pumping him up song or whatever it is. But yeah, always.
Any advice Vince gave you that stuck with you?
Um, wow. Also, so many little things. Trying to think, like what I don't know if you can remember my gear when I started there, like my knee pads didn't match my kick pads. And one time he made a comment on that. Not saying that I should do that, but he made a comment like like maybe you should try this or whatever. And then immediately I went to my gear maker and I was like, hey, can you do this? And then like weeks go by later and he's got so much on his mind, you never think that he would like even remember that. And when I walked through the curtain, he looked me up and down like this, and he kind of just smiled and he went like this. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll take that as a
Yeah.
what do you call it, like a pointer that he gave me or whatever.
Do you want to give any of your social media out?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Instagram is PJ450. I haven't been active there lately, but I mean, I do check the messages and stuff like that. And then Twitter, which is X now, Darewolf333.